Hey everybody, this is Chase with Trick Tools, and today I wanted to show you the Pro Tools MB-105HD manual tubing bender. This is a great option, especially if you're at the beginning level for a lot of different fabricators. It gives you the ability to do round tube, square tube, pipe sizes, even metric sizes. So whether you're into motorsports, restoration, just general fabrication like handrails, anything of that nature, this could be a bender that really suits your needs and maybe helps you get started as well. So what we have here is our Deluxe Kit, and that is going to include this handle here and the pedestal that the bender is sitting on. Our pedestal is designed to be bolted into the concrete or a plate. The bender can be purchased just by itself. You would just need to supply your own handle and a way to firmly mount the bender. One nice feature is that all Pro Tools benders come with this engraved degree ring that ranges from 0 degrees to 200 degrees. So when you're going past 180, it does have more to account for spring back. And it also comes with a pointer that attaches to the forming die. So it's going to give you the ability to have repeatable bends and very accurate bends. One great thing about Pro Tools tube benders is that the dies are going to be the same, whether it's the manual version or the air or electric over hydraulic version. All of the dies are sold separately just because there is such a wide range of dies and everybody's projects are different. That way you don't have dies sitting around the shop taking up space. You can order exactly what you need and save a little bit of money that way as well. The other great thing about the manual version is that it can be upgraded to air over hydraulic or electric over hydraulic at any point. So if you find yourself using it more than maybe you anticipated or are just looking for a little bit more ease of use or efficiency, those are great options that we offer as well. I want to talk a little bit about tube bending dies, some of the common terminology that goes along with tube bending, and hopefully answer some of the more commonly asked questions. The first one would be, what is centerline radius, or how do I measure centerline radius? In this case here, I have 1.5" tubing dies, and this is a 6-inch centerline radius. So if we wanted to measure from the center of the pivot pin to the outside of the die, that would be 6 inches. And an important thing to note is that it's measuring to the center of the tube. So in this case, another way to think about it maybe is if we take this tube and we bend 180 degrees around the forming die, and we measure from the start of the bend to the end of a bend in a straight line, we're going to get 12 inches. And that's because the radius is half of the diameter. Another common question that we get is about tubing and pipe sizing. So tube is usually used for structural applications, and we're going to measure tube from the outside diameter, or the OD. So this is an 1.5" tube, and if we put our calipers around the outside, we're going to get 1.5". And the reason that this is important is because since these dies use the outside diameter to bend, 1.5" pipe is going to be a bigger OD than 1.5" tube. But since that's the critical measurement on pipe, that's how it's measured. And that's because pipe is usually used to flow air or fluids through them. Another common question that we get is, how tight of a radius can I bend? And it's mostly dependent on the wall thickness of your tubing. Thinner wall tubing is going to be more prone to wrinkling on the inside or collapsing. So all of the dies have a minimum wall thickness, but it's really going to depend on your material and what you're trying to do. Pro Tools offers a lot of great options, one of them being on the counter die. They do offer a Delrin counter die, so if your finish is important to you, if you're bending aluminum or polished stainless for handrails, things of that nature, having a Delrin counter die is going to save you some cleanup time and really leave you with a nice finish. Now we'll show a bend using the manual tube bender. We're going to start with putting our material in between the forming die and the counter bend die. We'll put our U-strap on and our pin through the hole. We're going to set our 0 point with our degree ring and pointer. How we're going to do that is just apply a little bit of pressure to the handle and preload the tube, just so there's a little bit of tension. Then we can undo our thumb screw, slide the pointer to 0, and start your bend. Apply pressure to the handle, and using each tooth onto the ratcheting arm, you'll work your way to the end of the ratcheting arm. Then when you run out of travel on the ratcheting arm, you'll unpin the pin that's in the black arm running through the top of the forming die, move the black arm and drop it into the closest available pin. Then you'll start the process over on the ratcheting arm, work your way all the way until you reach your desired bend. And using this method, it may take a couple times of unpinning the top of the forming die and moving the arm back to 0, but you can reach up to 180 degree bend. So as you can see here, we got a nice 90-degree bend in our 1.5" material with little to no deformation, which is going to be really important when you're building handrails, roll cages, and things like that. So if you got any more questions or want to see the list of accessories, die sets, things like that, It's on Trick-Tools.com. We've got bending lube, tube rotation gauges, and a lot of things that are really going to help you when it comes time to get the job done. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.